Good morning. Oh, I'm just waiting to go live on Instagram. It shows me as reconnecting. Yep, I think I'm live. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session on nutrition for this month, the nutrition month. March is the nutrition month. Take some time to educate yourself about your foods. What exactly are you eating? How are you feeding yourself and nourishing yourself? And make sure you get rid of any anti nutrients, right? And that is why I'm here. So, today I'm going to discuss a very important topic, and that is going to be protein, right? So, protein, as most people know, is an extremely important thing. Nobody knows how much you should be eating. So, I'm going to discuss a little bit of that, and then I'm going to discuss all about the bioavailability of protein. Right. So, how much protein that you're eating is actually getting absorbed in your body, and what are the best sources of protein that you should eat for your specific body. Right. And I'm going to give you some examples and share some typical, cases that I see in my clients. So I'm going to discuss those as well. So a little note on protein, that it is present in each and every cell of the body, right? So if you think that, oh, I don't want to build my muscle mass, I'm okay if I skip the protein, it's not going to work. Every single cell of your body requires protein, right? The basic structure of the protein is amino acids, but protein is required for repair as well in the body, right? It's important for growth, development. It's important to recover from any kind of illnesses, right? So if you go through any surgeries or if you go through any illnesses, a lot of these protein amino acids are released and they will help in repair and recovery of your body. And that is why it is extremely essential, right? So from a food perspective, they're broken down into amino acids, and amino acids are found in all protein rich foods, right? So there are different categories of amino acids. There are the essential ones which everybody requires, then there are non essential ones which are kind of, it's good you have it, but they're not essential for the structure of your body or the repair work of your body, and the conditional ones are required in certain conditions, right? So essential amino acids are not made by your body, and that is why they should always be supplied by food. They cannot be synthesized in your body, right? And your overall balance of these essential amino acids is required. Non-essential amino acids can be made by the essential amino acids, and conditional, they're required in terms of stress. So that is a little bit about the protein, and the amino acids. Now let's jump straight into the topic. We have to discuss all about, a bioavailability of proteins, right? So we are going to compare different kinds of protein. So animal protein is the one protein, any kind of animal proteins are the ones which have the highest digestibility, right? Now when we look at plant proteins, they have a little bit of reduced digestibility and bioavailability. So does it have nutritional value or not, right? That's what we are going to discuss, right? So see, even if you're looking at different proteins and they say that these are highly digestible, it is not just the amount of protein that you're going to digest and absorb all of it, right? And there is a scale that you can measure, how much protein is going to be utilized, and that's called the protein digestibility corrected amino score, right? So that will show uh, what's the best way to utilize, what's the best kind of proteins to, be absorbed in your body. Now if you're looking at animal sources of protein, right, the best ones having bioavailability is cow's milk, especially whey protein. Whey protein has the highest digestibility, and that is one of the reasons why in a lot of, older traditions, milk is considered to be a complete food. Milk has the lactose, which is the milk sugar. Milk has a lot of good fat. It also has whey protein, which is the most available bioavailable source of protein, right? So when you have whey protein, you're going to be able to absorb it, you're going to be able to digest the protein, and it's straight going to go to your muscles to help with protein synthesis in your body, right? Now the problem with some clients or some people is that they cannot digest this way, right? While we talk about cow's milk as one of the best sources of proteins, the fact is that a lot of human population nowadays is sensitive to the milk proteins that are found in dairy, right? So you could be reacting to either milk's whey, which is a protein, or you could be reacting to casein that's found in milk, which is another protein, and that will create issues for you. So if you are sensitive to a specific protein, you are not going to digest it well. Your body is not going to create protein from it. Your body is not going to be able to synthesize it well, and this will eventually lead to a lot of damage in your digestive tract. You can have digestive symptoms, you can have bloating, and your muscle mass is not going to grow at greater amounts, right? And again, when I talk about sensitivities, you could also be sensitive to different animal proteins, which we are going to discuss, right? But from a bioavailability perspective, cow's milk is one of the best one. Eggs are another one. Eggs are also a really, really good source of protein. And if you look at the PDCAAS, right, the protein score that we are talking about, the protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, cow's milk, egg is one of the best proteins that you're going to absorb in your body. The best kind of vegetarian protein that you will absorb in the body is soy protein, right? So soy protein is has one of the best digestibilities of a vegan protein. If you're somebody who is not a vegetarian, like you're not doing any animal products at all, if you're looking at vegan protein, something like soy is going to be a good source of protein. Always make sure that you're buying non-GMO organic soy. Always realize that how you process the soy also matters. So something like tempeh, which is fermented soy, is going to be better digested than tofu, which is soy protein. Devika, soy is not harmful for everybody. So that is a myth, right? Soy is not harmful for each and everyone's body, right? Genetically modified soy definitely is not going to be absorbed by everyone, and that is why you look for the label non GMO, right? If you look at the label non GMO, if you look at um, organically grown soy, which you can find in the supermarkets, it is not going to be harmful for everyone's body, right? And in women, especially when soy has a lot of phytoestrogens, right? And soy is also one of the most controversial topics out there. So when women go through menopause, soy can actually assist them, right? If you're having a lot of estrogenic effects, the phytoestrogens can also help you, right, get rid of those excess of the xenoestrogens. At the same time, when your own estrogen levels are dropping, soy can support you, by its phytoestrogenic activity, right? But you have to make sure you're not allergenic to it. You can digest soy. Now, protein is also protein by nature. I'm not just talking about soy or eggs or whey, but protein, if you compare with carbs or if you compare with fats, proteins are also very allergenic, right? Because a lot of our cells, are made up of specific amino acids, and often, they can be um s- like your body can get sensitized to a certain protein easily if you have any damage in the gut or if you have any problem with digestion. So that is something you have to keep in mind. So if you're looking at the best protein, cow's milk or eggs are the best sources, the most bioavailable, and then there's soy protein. After that, on the scale of the protein digestibility score, is beef and then soy, right? So beef has 0.92 score out of 1. 1 is the best score. And then soy has 0.91. And then we're also looking at pea protein isolate. So these are all proteins that have been synthesized from pea protein, right? Soy protein is all the protein that's been taken out from soy, right? So pea protein is the protein that you have taken out from peas. So that's extremely like important for getting more protein into your body as well, right? Now, chickpeas and edamame beans. Chickpeas are another fantastic source of vegan protein. They also have, great bioavailability. The only problem is the digestibility or the bloating or the gassiness that chickpeas can cause for most people. Like, chickpeas can increase your vata, especially in the gut, to a lot of extent. It can cause bloating, it can cause a lot of digestibility issues. So one of my simplest tricks that I tell people is soak your chickpeas and always add 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and let it soak overnight, and then you can cook it, right? And then always cook it with spices, add some cumin, add some asafoetida. So you're also going to enhance your digestion while you're eating the protein, and you're going to be able to absorb it better, right? Other peas and legumes sit at 0.70 of the scale. Then we have peanuts at 0.52, and then we have wheat, right? So gluten in the wheat is also a protein, and that is the one thing you have to understand. For people who react to gluten, 100% get off it, right? But people who do not react to gluten, gluten can be a source of protein. An example is, with breads or rotis that you're having, you will get small amounts of protein. But if you replace it with gluten free breads, they may not have any protein at all, right? So this is something to be mindful of. And I'm in no way promoting eating a lot of gluten foods, but get tested is my number one thing, right? Always get tested. Get your food sensitivities in line, and that will give you fantastic results. I had a client today. All we did was we did some Ayurvedic diet for her. We completely, eliminated food sensitivity. She was eating a lot of peanuts. She was eating a lot of, eggs, things that she thought were healthy for her. And she had migraines for the past 20 years. Every single day she woke up with a headache. She tried everything. She was taking painkillers. Now she had just learned to live with it. And at least anywhere from 2 to 5 times a week she would have a full blown migraine, right? And it was awful. She couldn't deal with all of it. She was really tired, exhausted. She was getting irritated at her kids, and she was feeling really bad about it. We did an Ayurvedic diet for her. We took care of the allergies or the food sensitivities, and I just received a testimonial today morning, and she feels like a completely different person, right? And she was eating the protein that wasn't working for her body, right? Now, another example I can give you is animal protein. Animal protein, whether you look at chicken, whether you look at beef, whether you look at fish, they are better digested than most vegan proteins. That's also true, right? But the problem is, if you don't have enough stomach acid, right? Or if you are sensitive to chicken, if you're sensitive to beef, you are not going to digest it, right? So if you're eating meat or animal protein 3 times a day and you have extremely low muscle mass, you're constantly tired, you are getting all those afternoon crashes, you're just feeling overwhelmed, you feel like you're gaining fat but losing all the muscle mass, you feel like you're losing your physical strength, you're not utilizing the protein that you eat, right? So this is extremely important to understand. um, Bone broth doesn't typically have a lot of protein in itself, right? But there is bone broth protein that is derived from bone broth that is also available, because we are talking in the context of protein. So definitely for gut issues, people talk about bone broths and they work fantastic. But anyone, like, you have to understand your sensitivities first, right? Sensitivities, Devika, you can get tested. There are food sensitivity tests available. I do those in my clinic here. So you will have to find the nearest practitioner, or you'll have to start keeping a food diary and see what you're reacting to, right? So that's another way. So another good question is, can hypothyroid people safely eat edamame beans, right? Now, again, soy and thyroid have a lot of, uh, stories around it, right? So, but from my perspective, again, soy is a goitrogenic food, right? So if you are going for, goitrogenic foods, if you have thyroid problems, right, goitrogens are certain foods that will inhibit the normal function of your thyroid gland. They will make it difficult for your thyroid gland to produce different kind, like the thyroid hormones, right? And there are mainly three categories. We look at thiocyanates, we look at goitrins, right? And we look at flavonoids. So flavonoids are usually healthy. Now, soy definitely can cause, issues with your um, like yeah, so soy definitely, like whether we talk about tofu, whether we talk about tempeh, whether we talk about edamame, whether we talk about soy milk, it will have goitrogenic effect. And one of the best ways you can use soy is to use it sparingly, right? If you're sensitive, completely avoid it. If you're not sensitive, keep switching the protein source. Don't have the same thing every single day, right? So if you're drinking soy milk, don't drink it every single day. You can switch it with other kinds of, maybe like an almond milk or a different kind of nut milk, and that might be a better option. Edamame beans, you can switch it with chickpeas, or you could go for navy beans or some other kind of beans, or snap peas, those are going to be beneficial. But I wouldn't advise anybody that has thyroid issues to have a lot of soy in their diet, right? Now, fermentation can decrease the goitrogenic effect of soy, so maybe tempeh might be a better suited thing. And anytime you have a lot of these in your diet, you can always increase the iodine or the selenium intake, right? So getting enough iodine, getting enough selenium can also limit the effects of goitrogens. That's also be seen, right, by our studies. So including things like seaweed or kelp or nori sheets, right? So that's going to give you enough iodine. That's going to really support your thyroid if you're somebody who's having a lot of soy products, right? I'm going to say a quick hi to Tandra. I'm going to say a quick hi to Galia. So thank you all for watching this live. Again, I'm trying to keep these nutrition daily videos short. So I'm trying to keep it between the 1 to 15 minutes. Today we are at the 20-minute mark, but thank you for watching. If you have any more questions about protein, you can post it in the comment section. If you want me to talk about specific topics, right? So Tandra wants me to talk about menopause and nutrition for menopause to prevent the like the belly fat, right? So I'm going to discuss that. But if there are specific topics you want me to talk about, please, post it in the comment section. And if you are eating protein, if you think you're getting adequate amounts, please write down and always look at the symptoms or how you're feeling. What are the signs that your body is giving you? Are you feeling energized? Are you feeling tired? How do you exactly feel? That is extremely important to understand whether you're absorbing the protein or not, right? So thank you once again. Have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow morning at 9.